I'm just waiting for Kent to join the YouTube channel, Focus Corner. I just want to give Welcome Estates a big shout out and Spartan Civil Engineering and Demolition. Buggy and Innovation Alloys a big shout out as well. How are you doing, AJ? Hope you're well, lad. Hope you're well. Here we are. Old Kent is back. Women love him, men want to be him. Welcome to part two, Kent. Are you there, Kent?
Yeah.
Did you get your Audi sorted?
Yes. It's driving. Yeah, it's driving well. Yeah. Fingers crossed.
We'll have to have a race, Kent.
Definitely not. Not with you.
Right. Carl Frampton, what's he up to now, Kent? He's from your neck of woods. I like him. What's he on with?
Carl is doing a lot of work for BT. He's doing a lot of media stuff. I think his wife is expecting another child. So it's all good. It's all good for Carl. So it is. It's he's done his bit.
You know, I took running up. You know, I took running up, don't you, Ken?
Did you? What are you up to now?
Same. It's 2.5 miles from my house to where I go to Wadham. Like this route I take, and 2.5 back. But when I get to the first leg, I set off on second. When after 100 yards, I just stop and walk. It's harder than what you're thinking. It's sort of more up here, isn't it, than anything?
Yeah, especially when you're doing like out and back runs. You
I've
know,
gone
you
over
have
on
to
my
go.
ankle as well. It's easy to do that, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. I think when you're starting off running or any sport, it's all about the adaptation period of how long it takes your body to get used to it.
Yeah.
Your joints as well, ankle stability, single leg stability. Especially if you're running grass, people say, yeah, go on the grass, it's good for you, but it's very unstable. So you need to have really good stability muscles as well on the grass. But as long as you're doing it and you're enjoying it and you're not putting too much stress on your body at the, starting off at the start, it's absolutely brilliant. It'll be really good for you, building up some aerobic fitness.
What's your time down for marathon now, Ken?
My best marathon was in Manchester 4 years ago, and I ran 2:44. But I was disappointed in that because I hit the wall at 24 miles, and I basically dropped 8 minutes in the last 2 miles. It was on for running something really.
Did you have to walk it, Kent, the last 2 miles?
Yeah, I jogged and walked it. I was absolutely devastated. So to get 2:44 off walking basically for the last 2 miles, it was a marathon. Anything can happen. Like a minute before that, I was looking at the watch, thinking, right, you're killing this here. Every mile was 6 minute miles until that, and then bang, my lights went out, and it was one of those races where you could see the finish line right at the very end. The finish line was at Old Trafford cricket ground, and you could just see I was gutted. Now I'm happy with that because looking back on it, like my PB was 2:44 without the super shoes that they're all wearing at the minute. So without carbon shoes, I'm really proud of that. So I'm hoping I would like to do another marathon next year.
What are these super shoes, Ken? Are they for like superhuman runners?
It all started a couple of years ago when Adidas said that they would be the first brand to have a runner to run under 2 hours. So Nike developed the technology. The foam in the shoes is very responsive, so it kind of bounces off the ground, and there's carbon fiber plate in the shoe that keeps the shoe solid, so the foot can bounce off the ground. So there's a certain brand that I'm not going to say because I'm not getting paid to promote them. So that they were the first shoe to have carbon fiber, and everybody now is everybody. I've even seen people going out for jogs in carbon fiber shoes. In the marathon, they're talking that they give you 5% or 4% to your time. I've seen massive improvements in times with people wearing carbon shoes. So I think when I ran my PB for the half marathon, I ran 1:14 for the half marathon. If I had a pair of carbon shoes on, I probably would have run 1:10, 1:11 that day. So they make massive,
How
massive
much are
difference.
these trainer shoes? What running shoes, whatever they are, Ken?
The carbon fiber shoes, depending on the brand, the original brand that brought them out, you're probably talking between £300 to £400.
It's a lot of poke that for a pair of trainers, Ken, isn't it?
Yeah, you would only wear them for racing, certain races. I think the carbon fiber only lasts like 300-400 miles. And after that, the fiber breaks. So yeah, I'm happy. All my PBs are without carbon shoes, so I'm happy enough for that.
Good man, good man. Tell me your opinion on Anthony Joshua's situation at the moment, Ken, because is he going to fight again?
Well, apparently we're hearing now that Garcia has been sacked from as head trainer. Doesn't surprise me.
Where's he going to go to now, Kent?
Go to Adam Booth. He's the best. The Dark Lord.
No. Ken.
You knew I was going to do that. You rolled the snowballs there, so you did.
I'll set you up for that one. You don't do that. What you say is, go to Adam Booth, the Dark Lord. He's the best. I don't know. Maybe Adam Booth's not been with Joshua yet. He might end up with Joe. At least Adam Booth knows what he's on with, doesn't he?
Yeah, Adam Booth's been around a long time. You look at, he started off, doing a bit of personal training, coaching. Look at the fighters he's had. He's worked with, a lot of people don't give him the credit. Like as a young coach coming through, he worked with Ishmael Salas and developing David Hay. So yeah, I know he gets a lot of stick for Adam Booth being Adam Booth, but I think he's an absolutely brilliant trainer.
First time I ever seen Adam Booth on TV. He had a perm like Terry Mack. He used to play for Liverpool in midfield in the 70s.
Yeah.
He had a Terry Mack perm. And now I look at him and he's proper changed, hasn't he? Bless him. Old Adam Booth. So who do you think will train Joshua then if Garcia's on Skid Row, Kent?
So he was in Dubai where was that fight at the weekend, the Bivol fight?
The Bivol fight was in Dubai, wasn't it, all started? Somewhere where there's loads of sand, it was out there, wasn't it?
Somewhere there was loads of sand and loads of money. So he was there at the weekend and he was ringside. And there's talk now, I think there's footage of him talking to Bivol's coach. And there's talk now of him actually going and training with Dimitri Bivol and his coach. But it's up in the air at the minute what's going to happen. I actually think that what will happen next will be, it's a toss-up between, I know I'm going to get a lot of stick for this, but I actually think that the big Baby Miller fight will happen with Anthony Joshua. Yeah. I think it will happen. I think business-wise, I think you look at the whole backstory to it, I think that would be a fight that would have a better backstory and it would get better viewership and would get better numbers than a Dillian White rematch, Russell.
Yeah. How much does he weigh in, Miller? Because he's a big lump, isn't
he? He come back for the Bracamonte fight and he was enormous. He come back.
Is that how he fought last time?
He went 10 rounds. He went 10 rounds with Bracamonte. Then Big Fraser Clark knocked Bracamonte out, in 2 rounds or something like that there.
Big phrase. Big shout out to Big Phrase.
I have to say, Russell, what do you think of Big Fraser?
Well, this is my opinion on Big Phrase, right? And Big Phrase, I know you're watching, but don't take it to heart. Big Phrase hung around the EIS for too long. Yeah, he ended up winning an Olympic medal, a bronze medal, but He hung around too long, and now he's approaching 32 in his next birthday. He's only
Yeah.
had a couple of fights. The people he's fought are waste men. That's one. That's not being harsh. It's in front of our eyes. The people he's fought are waste men. But my argument with Big Fraser at the moment is he's a two-fight novice. Why is he a Sky expert pundit? You tell me.
I think they've brought him in because I think they've brought him in to change the status quo at Sky. You know, you look at there's the likes of Natasha Jonas there, who's a really good pundit and is a world champion. You look at Fraser Clark. I think the Fraser Clark gig was completely by accident that maybe fill a slot, and people have really liked him. He speaks really well. He's like ability. I actually like watching him. Russell. He would be one of my favorite pundit, not pundit. I wouldn't class him.
Yeah,
as
but
a
he's jumping
pundit.
queue in here. There's other fighters, ex-fighters, begging for TV work, and they've got a 2-0 novice as a pundit. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
Well, you look back at what you said there a minute ago, on the first video, and it's all about now. Boxing now is all about what's trending, who's trending. You know, you look at ex fighters like even Barry Jones there for a while wasn't getting any work, and he said it. Like I'm not getting any work at Sky anymore. Now he's getting a bit more work, but I think it's either as a boxer, social media, uh, Twitter accounts, followers. I think that's the way boxing's going, and I think if you're relevant at this time, you'll be in. If you're not, it doesn't matter if you held 20 world title belts. If you're not trending and not relevant at this point of time, you will not get we will not be on TV.
Yeah, it's okay. Katie Taylor, Chantel Cameron. Is it going to happen, Kent?
I think it will. I don't really think Katie Taylor's got. I think she's got maybe 2 or 3 more fights left. I think when you look at that 2 Delphine Pursoon fights, and you look at the Serrano fight,
yeah,
you look at the Jonas fight was a tough fight,
yeah,
but I don't think she's got many more fights like that left at this stage of her career. I don't feel that she's as fast in range with her feet. I think she gets hit. She's got hit quite a lot in those 3 fights that I mentioned there out of the 4.
yeah.
So I think now that they're looking. Eddie Hearn was talking the other day about going to Dublin and going to Croke Park. That is a massive. Croke Park is a GAA stadium in Ireland, and it could get they could probably do 80 to 90,000 in there, no problem, no problem. Yeah, I think so. I think
would Eddie be safe in Ireland though? He's never been back since he had a fallout with certain people over there. Would he be safe in Ireland, Eddie? Yes or no?
I've no idea. I've actually didn't even know that. I actually remember he promoted a show in down south. I think he promoted one show down south, and it was on Sky. And I don't think the numbers did too well because most of the numbers at that on Sky Sports are probably mainland UK, so they don't really want to watch Irish boxing every week. But I think the Croke Park gig and Katie Taylor, Katie Taylor Russell's probably one of Ireland's greatest sports stars.
Yeah.
She is probably the most famous person in Ireland at the minute.
Okay. Dylan White Franklin. It's a give me fight for Dylan, that, isn't it?
I don't. Everyone's talking about Franklin. This is a really good fight. Well, Franklin weighed over 277 pounds for his last fight.
20 stone.
The fight he had before that was against Pavel Sar. He went the distance with Pavel Sar. I don't see this as a really, really tough fight for Dillian White. Think about it, Russell. If Eddie Hearn's going to put on Anthony Joshua and Dillian White, that's a chance to sell out probably a football stadium in the UK. Does it now even? Does it? That's a possibility they could do that. Why would you put someone in with no ranking, no real name, the scalper that? I think Dillian White runs right through Franklin. I know he had management issues and promotional issues, but the shape he's in at the minute, he's not going to be in he's not going to be in much better shape to fight Dillian. To be fair, we give Dillian White a bit of stick sometimes. At least he comes in on shape. At least he does work hard in camp.
Oh,
I
Dylan
can't see
White.
I can't see Dillian White. Well, apart from the Marius Vac fight that he just about won, I think Dillian White beats Jermaine Franklin. Also, I don't think
Why,
he's going to
why,
bring it.
why is Dylan White and Big Meech, Anthony Joshua, why are they not mentioning Deontay Wilder or Joe Joyce?
I think Deontay Wilder also puts anybody in the orbit. Anybody. I think Joe Joyce is that guy at the minute. I think he's been parked up. I think he's waiting for his chance. When think about it, Russell. Think about if you were Joe Joyce,
Yeah.
you're going to have to wait possibly to March, April for Usyk to fight. Then another 6 months after that. He's 37. What age is Joe Joyce? He's in his late 30s. It doesn't
next to this, something like that.
it doesn't bode well for him. I think it's
Can
just
get
an
old
absolute
any time,
joke.
can't it, Joe?
Yeah, yeah, especially as a heavyweight.
Okay, well, what about Joshua against Dylan White?
Listen.
Obviously, Dylan White's going to put this Franklin to kick or fluke a points win. Either way, he'll be coming away with a win there. What about Dylan White against Big Meech? They could sell it as a trilogy because they fought in amateurs, Dylan won, and then they fought as pros and Joshua won. So could the fans buy into that though, do you think? Because it's a bit of a dog with fleas, isn't it, now after all this time, isn't it? After they were going to fight a few years back. What do you think?
I think the most frustrating part of it is how do you sell a pay-per-view off being knocked out against Tyson Fury? Heavyweight boxing. Not every fight, because it's a heavyweight fight, should be pay-per-view. I go back to the days where Lennox Lewis of Vander Holyfield was a pay-per-view fight. Lennox Lewis, basically against any heavyweight at that time, was a pay-per-view fight. He was the best heavyweight in the world, and if it wasn't a great fight, like you remember Lennox Lewis fought Francois Botha at the Docklands, and that wasn't really a great fight. It was a homecoming fight, but you looked at the undercard and it was stacked. We don't get that now. I don't think fans. I think what we'll see with Fury and Chisora, if it sells, I think that's going to be the catalyst to what Anthony Joshua does next. I think if Eddie can say, well, people bought Fury and Chisora, people will buy Dillian White and AJ. I personally think the Jamel Miller fight is going to be the fight that, Jamel Miller's already walked into a top 14 ranking with the WBA. I think that would be a bigger fight because of their backstory, but I don't know. I think you said there, what does Miller weigh at the minute? Well, he weighed 329 pounds for his last fight, so that's him without his nuts, berries, and juices, as Terry would say.
Do you feel that the fans are being shortchanged by these big fights not happening, Ken? Yes or no?
Absolutely, yeah.
Why though? Why are we not getting what we want? And do you feel that us fans, when we get something like Fury Joshua, we just say, "Oh God, let's just put up with it because we're being starved."
Yeah, well, we kind of have to be a part of the blame here because we've been paying for these events for a couple of years now. We have been paying for crap pay-per-view. We have been saying, "Oh, there's boxing on tonight, it's pay-per-view." Yeah, I stick it on anyway. And we're watching crap undercards. We're watching pay-per-view fights that aren't pay-per-view fights. Pay-per-view started to fund super fights.
Yeah.
That's how pay-per-view started. A lot of these pay-per-view fights now are not super fights. When was the last pay-per-view super fight that you actually watched?
Super fight. Well, if you could call it a super fight, because I think it were about probably 6 or 7 years too late. I think Amir Khan and Kell Brook, that would have been a super fight years ago, but now it was just too well past the sell-by date fighters that had been knocked about, and it weren't a super fight, where it really were just two guys getting a bit more, ringing the last few quid out of the box and out of fans. That's how I look at it anyway.
Yeah, what's happening now with boxing? I've noticed what's happening now in combat sports with likes of UFC. UFC gets a great rap, but yeah, they put on this card and they put on that card. But what they do is they actually recycle fighters. They put vets together against vets and sell it out. And that's what's happening now
Vets?
with pay-per-view.
What do you mean
Like
vets?
veteran fighters,
Oh,
fighters
yeah,
at the tail end of their career. You spoke
Yeah.
about their Amir Khan and Kell Brook.
yeah.
That's a vet fight. That's a veterans fight. It's not a super fight with likes of super fight for me is Hagler Hearns.
Yeah.
That's a super fight. When was the last super fight that you actually watched? What was the first ever pay-per-view fight you actually watched, Russell?
The first super fight that I ever seen.
Pay-per-view fight.
The first pay-per-view first pay-per-view I ever watched was Frank Bruno against Oliver McCall, and it weren't a super fight, were it really?
No.
But the first one that I had that were highlights. I watched that with the highlights of a pay-per-view in Morelands Prison. The first one I ever paid for on my own, I think a Calzaghe one, Calzaghe Kessler. Calzaghe Kessler.
Pay-per-view.
Pay-per-view, yeah.
I think my first was Frank Bruno against Mike Tyson 2.
Yeah. I listened to that one in on Basic Regime on radio. The first one, I'd left school and I'd gone and I went to work in London, came home, and a couple of years later I went down, and I might have been about 18, and I listened to it in on a radio, but it had come out. I think Sky might have just come out then, the Bruno Tyson one, but I listened to that on radio in an old hotel, Enterprise Hotel, Old Garth Road, Earls Court. That's a true story. My two aunties and their husbands were all mesmerised.
Yeah.
And because Frank Bruno got one punch in, didn't
he? Yeah.
But yeah, the good ones I remember, obviously the Frotch ones. He had three Barnstormers, Kessler, two with Grove, but I remember the Nazim Kelly.
Yeah.
The one in New York, was it? Kevin Kelly
Madison
was 7
Square
knockdowns,
Garden.
were there 7 knockdowns altogether?
Yeah. I remember I was absolutely mesmerized by Prince Nazim in the 90s. I remember I watched him, Kevin Kelly pay-per-view. I watched him.
Hey, that was a Bricktop show as well, So Eddie McCarthy invented the wheel. Bricktop were putting, I think Bricktop did that one with Don King, the Bruno McCall one. So he were doing stadium shows and pay-per-views before any of them. I know his old man had Eubank, didn't he? But some look, Chris Eubank, right? People go on about Chris Eubank. Yeah, he was tough and all that. He's got 4 wins over world champions. 4. That's it. 4, mate. That's all. People talk about him like he's, Barney Ross. Got 4 wins over world champions.
Look at that time, but Russell, you had Mike McCallum, you had James Toney, you had Roy Jones.
Errol Bomber Graham in that mix as well, He didn't win a world title. But Roberto Duran, Leonard Agler, Earns, McCallum, McClellan, Julian Jackson,
Wow.
Killers.
Jared McLennan. Jared McLennan was actually the first ever WBO middleweight champion. He actually won it. And he actually won it in England. And what was that arena that used to be was Wembley Arena, would it have been? He won it in Wembley Arena and vacated it. But that time in boxing was just. There's actually really good footage there. You said there about Roberto Duran. Roberto Duran went up and fought Hagler at middleweight and give him nightmares at middleweight. If anybody hasn't seen that, go and watch that performance. I think Duran was over in the UK and he'd done a sparring session with Nigel Benn. He was overweight. He was out of shape. Go and watch that sparring session. And honestly, the skills that Duran had at that age and being that out of shape was absolutely, for me, he's the greatest
Nigel
fighter
Benn
ever.
sparring Duran.
Yeah,
I've seen it. It's on YouTube, isn't it? When Nigel Benn was just a Commonwealth champion, then wasn't it?
what did you think of it?
I thought he was all right. I thought Nigel Benn won the sparring session. Now, when I looked at it, I don't know what did you think?
It wasn't the sparring session, or
No, they never had a fight as pros, did they, Duran and Benn? But I've seen
no?
them spar on YouTube. I
Yeah,
thought Nigel Benn more than held his own. I don't know. Did you
he
see
did.
anything different? Oh, yeah.
He did. It was a brilliant, and they weren't going at it. Like, it wasn't like Ben was going that he was throwing shots at him, but they weren't
Doing
going to hurt
anything.
each other. It was proper sparring. But you go back there and you said there about Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn fought. Comes off with this. That Frank Warren created pay-per-view in the UK. You
Yeah,
look at those
he
Nazim
did.
Hamed cards. You look at the fighters underneath that. You look at the Britpack show. You look at Calzaghe against Robin Reed show. Look at that. Look at the
Newcastle.
undercard. That show. Unbelievable.
Well, why can't Bricktop put shows on like that now? Why not?
Is there fighters like that now with those profiles that have shows like that now, Russell? Really?
I don't know, mate, but yeah, let's try and think of something positive. All right, then. Let's talk about Joe Joyce, because he's avoided him, innit? Do you think he's going to be avoided until he's showing signs of wear and tear?
I think he's been parked up again. He's WBO interim champion.
Yeah.
He's champion in recess. When, how long, what's the time frame between now and getting that world title fight with Alexander Usyk, if it ever happens?
I don't know, mate. I don't know if anybody wants to fight Usyk at the moment. Nobody's mentioning him, are they?
No, nothing. We don't know. Even do you actually think that Tyson Fury will fight Usyk?
I don't know. Not when he can pick up millions and millions for fighting fighters that are finished. I mean, Frank Warren said that Chisora were finished, didn't he? Years ago. But yeah, and now all of a sudden he's got a puncher's chance. It only takes one punch.
I actually think what's going to happen with Joe Joyce, I think the time frame is going to be so long. If, say, for example, if Tyson Fury actually fights Usyk and beats him,
yeah,
I don't think that he's really going to want. Think about the purse split and how Tyson Fury's selling at the minute. Well, that last fight. That's guaranteed revenue for Frank Warren. I actually think down the line, I actually see Joe Joyce and Dubois fighting for the WBA regular. I think that would do really, really well.
Okay. All right then, Ken. Well, listen. Anything you want to say or add before I part and we'll get me car washed?
Yeah, just come back to what we said. Do you think, I was just thinking about this, do you think the likes of Spencer Oliver and Gareth A. Davis are using the Conor Benn situation to make themselves credible again?
Do I think Spencer Oliver and who?
Gareth A. Davis.
Why they're still going on about the Conor Benn situation?
Yeah, but the last couple of weeks, is that what they really feel? Or are they using it?
to get themselves out there. Look, they all do it, don't they? Everybody's got an opinion, haven't they, on who works on in them sort of jobs. I don't know, but why is he so quiet, Conor Ben? Why ain't he asking for his B sample?
Where's the B sample?
Yeah, where is the B sample? I don't know. I don't know. But listen, it's always been a pleasure, Kent. What you got lined up for tonight?
Actually, bit of work on. Going to work tonight, unfortunately. That's
Doing
me.
some graft.
Yep, just some graft.
Is your mum all right, Ken?
Yes, I mean, yeah, she's good.
You look after your mum. I always respect somebody that looks after the mum. You know that?
Yeah, just try your best and be decent with everybody, Russell, you know. And maybe not be everyone's cup of tea, but I try my best to be decent.
You're a man amongst men, Kent. The last of the Mohicans. All right, mate.
Okay, Russell.
Where's your war hat? You usually wear a hat that says war on it. Where's that gone?
No. I'm just at that stage in life, Russell. I think I'm going through like a midlife crisis where I'm just embracing.
Well, midlife crisis in your late 20s, Kent. Do me a favour.
I'm 40, Russell. I'm coming
40 now. Oh, sorry, I thought you were about 29 or something like that.
I'm coming 40, so I'm just.
You're 39 then, aren't you?
39. So I'm just embracing being baldy. So I'm just slaphead, baldy, whatever. So what? I'm baldy. That's it. No more War Chisora hats.
You've got the old Roger Moore on, haven't you? The old,
yeah, I'm going for the Dennis Hobson look now. So I am.
No, you've got the old Roger Moore turtleneck on, haven't you? From Live and Let Die.
Great Bond film. Great Bond film.
I bet that's a big hit amongst the chicks around your area, isn't it, Ken?
It's a great Bond film and a great Bond song from Wings. So it was probably one of the best.
Good film. All right then, listen, Ken, you take care and I'll speak to you probably tomorrow or tonight. All right, have a great day, what's left of it, Ken.
You too, Russell. Take care.
Cheers, mate.
Peace out.
Right.
Peace out.
Well, that was Kent, all the way from Ireland. I like Kent, you know. It's all right, Kent. Some comments that I get on here about Kent, shocking. They're shocking, honestly. Some of them. So they get removed because I don't like people who come on here to get abused. But Kent and Terry and Julian to some point, but Kent and Terry get loads. The best thing about it is Kent's ex-amateur boxer, isn't it? And Terry can fight because I've seen it. So I wouldn't say that to the faces, would they? But what can you do? So that's about it, really. I hope everybody's enjoyed the hour I've just done with Kent. Big shout out to Spartan Demolition and Civil Engineering. Welcome Estates. There'll be more on Welcome Estates in the next few weeks. All right. That's about it, really. All right. Does anybody think I should get Max back on channel? Max. Heart of a breadcrumb. Should we have the breadcrumb back? Or should we just keep him parked up? So, because I've heard he's in training. Max in training. Max is putting the heavyweight division on notice. Should we have him back on? All right. Peace out. Keep on trucking. Keep supporting boxing. Don't have nightmares. Don't listen to. No battery in that. Don't listen to any BS.